Okay. Hey guys, this is Yo at the Hook and Hut, and I'm going to do a quick little video here to show you how I write up my patterns in a spreadsheet format. And first off, two of the things that you need to have when you're doing a spreadsheet or writing a pattern in general, actually, is you need a pattern template. So you'll have a consistency in every pattern that you make and have a style sheet. And what a style sheet is like, if you like look in a knitting magazine or in a knitting or crochet book, you'll see where it has a list of all the abbreviations used. That's basically a style sheet. So you can be consistent in the way that you write up the abbreviations. And from everything I've read and classes that I've taken, they all say the same thing, that one of the things that ticks off tech editors is that those of us who are new pattern designers, that we're not consistent in the way that we do things. So that's two things that you want to have. But anyways, let me show you real quick, like the way I do this. First off, I hit this. I'm using OpenOffice, by the way, but basically Word works, spreadsheets works the same, Excel. So I hit this little button here, and because I'm pushing 60, I give myself a size 13 font to make it easier when I go to work on stuff. And then I'll pull the A column over a little bit, and I'll probably keep adjusting it depending on what I write there. But now that I've got this set to where I want it, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do a save as. And what am I going to do? I think I'll just save it to my desktop for now, so I can find it later. Where am I? Desktop. Okay. And I'll call it my, what am I going to call this? I'm going to call it my temp hat, because that's what it's going to be for right now, till I actually sit down to do it. Okay, so what I have here, now that I've saved it, I can get down to work. And I've written it up already in a notebook. So what I'm going to do is now put down name of the design, and I'll write that again right here. Ooh, there we go. Temp hat. Okay, and I'll come here and I'll do skill level. And here I'll put, I like doing every other row, because it just makes it easier to see later on. In this case, skills needed, you need to be able to do Fair Isle. Okay, and here's sizes. This one's going to be medium. Finished measurement. It will be for 19 1/4 hat. Then materials. And materials will be, and I'm going to pop down on that one. And at this point, this is where you're going to refer to your 3x5 card and look at the different yarn that you're going to use. And Red Heart Super Saver Brown, Red Heart Super Saver Coral, Red Heart Super Saver Turquoise, Red Heart Super Saver Spring Green. Okay, and then we'll come here and it will be, what am I going to use? Oh, okay, I'm going to use US 7, and then I'll use brackets for 4.4 millimeter for our metric fans, and 16-inch, again, use a bracket for 40 millimeter, and bracket And I'll continue writing this, and now I'm going to run out of space, so I need to widen this. So, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's Jeff in the background. Circular needle. And then it's going to be US 9. What is that? That's 5.5 millimeter. 16 inch. And that's easy. That's 40 millimeter. And then circular needle. Okay, now the reason why I've got two different size needles there is because on the one, because I'm going to do a garter stitch brim, then I'm going to also need to have, I say garter stitch brim, I have to knit with needle size at least 1 to 2 sizes smaller than what I'm going to use normally. Okay, and the US 9 will be used on the rise and the crown. And then we need a stitch marker. Sorry, marker, stitch marker, tapestry, needle, and a clover pom-pom marker, which is optional. Okay. Then, what do we have down here? Oh, okay. Then we're going to move over and we're going to begin the gauge. And my gauge is, what's my gauge? Oh, 8 stitches by 8 rounds, or yeah, 8 rounds because we're doing this in the round, equals 4 inches. Okay. So in other words, I'm getting 4 rounds per inch. Okay. So, oh, and I forgot. Okay. Okay. Now, in stockinette stitch using larger needles. And that's an important thing to have in there because otherwise later on it's going to throw you off and you're going to wonder what you did, what needles you actually did everything in. I mean, it can really throw you for a loop, as you can imagine. Patterns, oops, sorry, pattern notes. Now, what are we going to do here? Now, pattern notes, sometimes you have something that's going to be special that needs to be put in there. Sometimes you won't. In this case, we do. We're going to use smaller needles for the brim. Okay, switch to larger needles. When it's time to do the rise and crown. It's time to do the rise and crown. Okay, when it's time to do the rise. Now, another special note I want in here is, okay, when, let's see, how do I want to write this? Okay, when it comes to decreasing in the crown, once it becomes uncomfortable with circs, switch to DP ends. Bingo. And then Control S to save, because at some point your computer will probably do something dumb and you're going to lose it. Okay, and then we can come over here and we can put stitch patterns. And I like doing this because it reminds me of what stitches I'm using. The brim equals garter stitch, body or rise and crown equal, whoops, equal let's see, rise and crown equal what? Stockinette. Okay. Now, what else do we have here? Okay. Now, in some cases, some people use the stitch patterns as just to say, they might include that in the pattern notes. I don't. I want to know what stitches my patterns am I going to be using if there's anything special. So what I have is that there. Now I'm going to put in instructions. And this is when I get down to actually writing the pattern. Okay. So in this case, I know it seems a bit odd, but I remember this is just the way that I write it up when I'm putting it in a spreadsheet format, because for me it works. This isn't the way it'll be once I transfer it. Rounds 1 through 5 are going to be purl. Okay. And this purl I'm going to put right there. Let's see. Rounds 1 through 5 will be purl. Let's see. Rounds 6 through 6, 7, 8. Let's say 6 through 8 are going to be knit. Okay. And that's going to be, I'm going to come up here and center that one as well. Not quite sure. You can take this and just drag and go all the way down and then hit center. And that'll solve the problem of doing that all the time. And then after this, we're going to get into, I'm going to put a little note to myself here, to time for the graph, or let's just call it graph time. Graph time. And what I'll do here, just because that's the way I roll, is I'm going to change this now, and I'm going to put bingo. Put that in orange and bold the thing. Whoops. You have to do it that way. And put it in bold, because this is when I like changing things up a bit. That's going to be all in bold, because it just makes it nicer to see. And I'll pull this out just a little bit. Okay, now over on this side, I'm going to create a panel in yellow. And that panel there is so that as I go through here, I can put like, okay, let me see, I'm going to also center that. And like, okay, I've done round 1, I'll put an X. Round 2, I'll put an X. 3, 4, 5. Okay, once I've got 5 X's there, I know I've completed those rounds. You can also count it, but you can also do it this way. 1, 2, 3. And then get rid of that. Ew, that didn't work. Why didn't it do that? There we go. And so then all you have to do later is just go back and hit backspace. Click on it and then hit backspace, and it'll wipe all that out. And what I'll do at this point, I'm either going to put the graph here or I'll put the graph here. And I'll either take a picture of the graph if it's in a book, and then I'll send it to myself. I'll upload it into Paint and then crop it. So all I have is the graph, and then I'll paste it into this and have it there. Or I'll just take the graph and I'll create on another spreadsheet the graph on it in the colors of my choice or something. But and then I'll write out the graph. I also don't just go by the graph. I also write the graph out in complete detail of how many stitches are this, that, and the other all the way around. And I do that on purpose, because that helps me sometimes when, so I don't get lost when I'm working with the graph, because trust me, with my mind, I can. So I would put the graph in here. And I'm not doing that right now because it's, from a book and, I don't want to do that. So anyways, on this side, I'll use it to create all kinds of different notes to remind myself of stuff, or if I see where something didn't look right, I'll make a note of it over here, and then I'll highlight it, and uh, um, so it'll set it off, so I'll go back and read it. But it's in that, anyways, that's it. That's how I do it. Is I just do it like that, and it's all set up for me. And then keep saving it as you go along, and bold things, color things in, um, you know, however you want to do it. You could even just go like right here and go the brim. Okay, I want to make that bold, or with this, I want to make it bold. Anything to make it stand out, so that it works for you, because that's the big thing. Oh, you know what I did? See? Here we go. I'm going to insert a row there. Welcome to my world. I'm going to insert a row here and put with 7, US 7, cast on. And now I'll put 77. Oh, goodness sake, where was my head? I don't know. There we go, cast on 77. There we go, with the US 7. Now I'll get here and I'll put, okay, hold on, let me add in an extra. Insert rows. Wow, it's amazing the things you see. I'm glad you got to see that, because you get to see my world the way I'm always messing up. Now, switch to US 9 for rise and crown. There we go. And then, yes, one more time, we'll bold this, and we'll come up here and we will turn it orange. And now I know, okay, there's a new color there. I've got to do something. Okay? And then I'm going to highlight this one as well in orange, because this lets me know that something special is about to happen. And since these are going to be the instructions, oh, let's change, and I usually put that like that on that side, because that again gives me something else to look at and know that, okay, things are changing in the way I've written the pattern. And so anyways, that's it. That's how I do it. And I don't think I've made any more mistakes there. But anyways, that's it. If you have any questions, leave a note in the comments. And I hope you've had a great day, and I'll see you later.